Yes, people, welcome back to another episode with the Only YahYah, and today we're previewing the Manchester United versus Arsenal. Big game. We're traveling down to Emirates to have a big game. Michael Carrick versus Arteta, and you know, this is really the kind of game that's going to make us see what really is Carrick about. What kind of team is he adaptable? Is he flexible? Is he versatile? Like, what sort of manager he is? But yeah, we're out here at Jack Idle Restaurant and Bar. For a lot of y'all that don't know, it's up near the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Beautiful place, lovely landscape. You can do you can have events here, you can throw parties here. There's always food, there's pasta, burgers, you name it, local food, saltfish, all kind of different things. So, you know, check it out if you have a chance, Jack Idle Restaurant and Bar. But yeah, we had to preview such a big game at this place for many reasons that we'll discuss later down in the video. But for me, Manchester United taking on Arsenal is going to be a very important game for the way in which we want to play or going forward as a club. Now, why I say this? Michael Carrick did well against Man City, 2-0 result, and everyone's on a hype right now. Michael Carrick will beat Arsenal, yada yada, whatever. Let's be logical though. Arsenal is one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best team in Europe. They've been playing at a certain level that I do not think a lot of teams have been able to hit this season. Now, not to say that they've not had the bad result here and there, or they haven't had poor games or whatever, and they've still had results in those games. And everyone usually says that when a team's not playing well but picking up results, it is the epitome, or it's the evidence to show that they are a club that is on the verge of winning something. Now, for me, I also have reservations about that. Not saying about Arsenal, but about that phrase or statement or whatever we can say, analogy, whatever we can want to say that statement means. But I just think that there's a very important thing when we look at, we're saying, oh yeah, every team that don't play well but pick up results is in a verge of being a champion. But also we can say if a team does not play well throughout the whole season and is only picking up results, they're scraping through to get the best out of their team. So we can look at each way and each sort of, you know, statement and gather what we gather from it. But in my opinion, Arsenal is, if not the best team in Europe at the moment, in terms of the way they've been playing football. And to be fair, if they've won a few trophies over the last couple of years, I would probably say they're one of the best teams in the world. Because other than winning trophies, which I think what makes you a great team or good team or whatever, it's the differentiation between greatness, good and average, a trophy. Now, it depends also on the level and the quality of the trophy. Now, Arsenal winning a Carabao Cup with that squad, it's a bit iffy. Them winning the Premier League or the Champions League, I understand and I agree, because if they take off the 11 players they have and put on 11 new players, they still have a pretty decent squad that maybe might not be champion level, but I would say good enough if they get some momentum to get top 4. Now we have a big thing, or a big we have a big situation now with Arsenal playing United in this sort of momentum that United have. And let's not kid ourselves. Yes, United may not have been winning games convincingly, or yes, United may not have been winning games at all, but they weren't losing games either. We had a lot of draws in this period of time, and it was draws where we gave up leads. It wasn't draws where we were chasing games. So there are just a few things about United which showed that they were actually on an upward trajectory, but maybe was just missing that little bit of spark within the locker room or within the environment that Ruben Amorim maybe kind of killed for a lot of the players. So, you know, all these things kind of make the game a bit more exciting, because Arsenal does need to win. Arsenal does need to go and attack United. Arsenal cannot sit back and play for the draw, especially with Man City getting a win at Wolves today. It actually puts them under a lot more pressure to go after United. Now, in terms of the tactical aspect of it, Does Arsenal going after United suit United? Of course, because United wants to go after Arsenal using the counter-attacking football, whereas Arsenal is a very, what would I say? Arsenal is a very, not I would say defensively solid team, but they press very high, and when they have to, they sit back, camp out, and they actually can play in a defensive low block. Now, is that the way that they want to attack that game? I don't think so. But I also think Arteta is probably not going to press as high as he does press usually against most big teams, and he's actually going to sit back a bit and force United to have the ball for large spells of the game. Why I think that is because United, it wants to give up the ball and hit on the counter, which actually benefits them a lot more than if they allow themselves to have possession of the ball and have to break down Arsenal. That's what Arsenal did in the first game and won 1-0, taking the space away from us and going after United. So Arsenal doing that again against United, even at home, wouldn't be surprising for me, because they have a really good excuse. They can actually say that they were playing for they're playing at home and they're playing to win the league. So whichever result, once is not a loss, for them it's a positive, which has now, so they actually don't really have to attack the game in a way in which I think, but they still have to go after the game to try to get a positive result. So what would benefit them is if Man United scored early, which would not benefit them is if Man United scored early and they have to go after the game. Because I think if Arsenal opens up, gives United space to run in behind, cut them open and attack them in transition, they'll probably end up losing this game at the Emirates 3-4-0 easily. And that is my score predictions. I actually think if United goes out and play well, one game per week, Arsenal's in momentum, but they actually can hit Arsenal with an element of surprise, because there's actually no evidence to show how Carrick will play with United except one game. There's not a 5 to 8 game spell where you can analyze each game and say, okay, against a low block he played this way, against a high press he played this way, against a mid-low block he played this way, at least a mid-block he played this way. So there's so many different things that can happen that I think that forces Manchester United to hit Arsenal with the element of surprise. But yes, people, if you're looking for a drink, if you're looking for a nice time, any days between Tuesday to Saturday, don't forget to hit up Jack Idle Bar and Restaurant. But also, don't forget to please like, share and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications, so your boy YahYah can continuously keep bringing you great content going forward. Have a good time. Come on, you Reds. We'll be watching the game here tomorrow, so come along if you want to. Take care. Have a good time. Ciao.